Salutations, everybody. It is Matty here today with my sizzling hot take on the Steam Summer Sale of 2020. Woo! Hope you guys are ready to spend some money. We got some great deals lined up today. As always with my hot takes on the sales, I'm in a great mood because this brings me back to the first time I bought my PC during the 2014 summer sale. And sales videos like this really help me out on what to pick, what to catch up on, what I may have missed. So this sale video will be a lot more organized than my previous sales videos because we're going to start off with the $20 and under section before we move into the big boy and girl purchases later on in the video. I know that A, times are tough, and that B, it's the best feeling going into the Steam summer sale and walking out with like 8 different games for $20. Because, you know, Steam isn't like, say, GameStop. Hey, welcome to GameStop. How can I help you? Hey, what's happening, man? Just looking to make a couple of trade-ins, you know? Oh, a couple trade-ins? Sure, what do you got for me, man? Sure, man. We got The Somnium Files. Great game, really underrated, under-discussed, but I'm done with it. Luigi's Mansion 3. You know what they say, these Switch games, they give you a hefty trade-in price, so I can't really replay it. Here you go. Oldie but goodie. Halo Master Chief Collection. Moved on from Halo a while ago, so we're trading this in too. All right, so that'll come out to $6.43. Hey, pal, I think that was my trick here. Did I hear you say $6.43? Oh, I don't think I stuttered. Free stock. Free stock. Yeah, you come here and you trade in your games here. What, you think we're gonna pay more for them? You study economics ever? Buy low, sell high. You want that game back? Pay double the price. No, you know what? Pay triple the price. Pay triple the price. Get lost. All right, let's get the $20 and under section started off with A Plague Tale: Innocence. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a great story game. I did recommend it in my personal review, which I have up on my channel still if you'd like to go ahead and check that out for more detailed thoughts. But this game is so moving, it's so tense. You feel very vulnerable during this experience as you navigate, as you'd imagine, a plague ongoing through a bunch of rats. And it's all about manipulating lighting, carefully moving through levels while protecting your younger brother, Hugo. It's an emotional tale, but it is only about 10 hours long, which is why I did at first struggle to recommend it strongly because you don't have much replayability here, but it is such a wonderful game. At $15, this is a absolute steal. Please jump on it. Excellent story here. At roughly the same price of $16, we have Outward, which is a open world survival RPG. It actually just 10 days ago released a brand new expansion. Now, admittedly, I have not played Outward, but this game has been on my radar for a while. I have a very stacked backlog as we speak. Like, I'm talking about 6 games I gotta cut through before I buy anything, but this is at the top of my list. It looks great. It's a survival open world RPG. It's really talked about in a positive way, and I thought this would be a good one to recommend because the base game is at a safe buy-in price. It's usually $40, but if you end up really liking it, then you have more content in the expansion that is now available. So maybe if you missed out on this one, this is a good time to hop right in. All right, a cheaper one, a early access title, Golf It. This is a game that I think Funhouse played a ton, so probably a lot of you have already seen it. But if you haven't, this is what I define as a nice chill game. I really love mini golf, and this is a game that's based entirely around that. It has multiplayer. It has a editor for maps, so you can like play other people's courses or make your own. And I just think it's one of those games that's really nice to be able to turn your brain off, play. It's positively reviewed. A lot of people enjoy it. It's just good fun, but you don't need to like dial into a story, dial into some deep and enriching gameplay. It's just mini golf for $5, and I think that's kind of fun. All right, so EA, as a lot of you are aware, moved a ton of their games over to Steam, and they are also on sale. 2 of my very favorite games in the horror genre are available, being Dead Space 1, Dead Space 2, and if you're looking for a really good co-op game, Dead Space 3 is now available on Steam. So you can get Dead Space 1 and 2 for $5, or you can get Dead Space 3 for $10 and play it alongside a friend. Now, Dead Space 2 is my favorite of the entire trilogy, but Dead Space 3 is a guilty pleasure. I don't care what anyone says. Yeah, it leaves behind a lot of what made the series special, but it is such a fun co-op game. So this is one that you can go in on with a friend and have a really good time. It's only 2-player co-op, but it's still extraordinary fun. Now, if you care about the entire series, which you should, although you'll be kind of sad that it's not going to continue on because Visceral is no longer with us, there is Dead Space 1 and 2 that you can get for $10 in total, and they are some of the most atmospheric, intelligently designed, replayable stealth games ever. Plus, you can play as Isaac and stomp people to death. So definitely give this series a look if you haven't. Hella underrated game right here, A Way Out. I played this with one of my best friends, and we still talk about it to this day. You're not going to get this memorable, enriching story, but there's nothing quite like A Way Out. It is only available in co-op, so this is another game you have to play with one other friend, and it is just so different. Like I said, it's very odd and unique. You're not gonna take a lot of emotion out of there. The acting is so cheesy, it's good. It's one of my favorite co-op games for probably not like the best reasons. Like, I'm not gonna go into an analysis on why it's so good. It's just a different title. So if you're looking for more co-op fun, it's about a 6-hour story that'll take you through a lot of interesting moments, we'll say, and only $15. I'd say this is a safe buy-in price if you're looking to play it with a friend. The Legends of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel is available for $24. I am about 25 hours into the first entry of this series that is getting more and more attention, which is kind of why it's a shame this year it all ends in the West. They're releasing the 4th entry and the story is done. So I'm really curious to see how everything builds, and then I'm going to try to catch up before that 4th release because I'm really excited to see what they do with it. A lot of people talk about it positively. For me, I picked it up. It's on my backlog now because what happened was I bought this, I started playing it, I got really into it, then Persona 5 Royal came out. One of my favorite games of all time and current game of the year, so you guys know how I feel about that. I worked on a huge project for it, and just everything kept taking me away from this game, but I've consistently thought about it. It stuck with me, and I've not wanted to abandon it, which is a testament to how good it is. So if you're looking for a different style JRPG that, yes, you do live the school life, yes, you do balance out social stats with your friends, and that does play a factor in combat, a unique combat system at that, then this is your style of game. Now, do know it is a little slow out of the gate, and it does take a while just to warm up to the combat, the flow, everything there, just like titles within this genre have always experienced. But if you're new to that type of stuff, this may be a good first step in. It doesn't seem as heavy on like the anime dating waifu stuff that I know kind of agitates a lot of people. And I'll be honest, as someone who plays a ton of JRPGs, I get a bit tired of all of that too. So just know from what I've experienced, it's a pretty mature, political styled story. And this is a game that I would say is worth taking a dive on if you're looking for a new JRPG. The Notary Games, $12. All right, guys. So I haven't played 999, which is the first entry in the Zero Escape franchise, but I have played Virtue's Last Reward, and it is one of the biggest mind-bending experiences I've ever had in a story. So this is a story-rich title. There are a lot of puzzles, but I know myself and many others just look up guides for the puzzles to get through the story, because the story is that good. Now, the puzzles themselves are great, but sometimes you just get impatient. You're like, oh my God, I want to get to the next part, because that is really the hook of this game. Amazing characters, amazing twists, really dark universe here. One thing I will warn you guys about, there are 3 games in the Zero Escape franchise, and the third one, Time Dilemma, has one of the most disappointing conclusions I've ever experienced. I'll just say this much. It's supposed to be the finale of the series, and it ends on a cliffhanger. And so I want more from this series, but the creators of these games, I believe, moved on to The Somnium File, which I do hope to play pretty soon, because that game is right up my alley too. So if you're sort of like me, you love Danganronpa, Zero Escape is a great story that you should experience. Really like it. You know, when we talk about Platinum Games, we're always referring to like Bayonetta, or in my case, I adore Astral Chain. They make so many good titles, but not enough people talk about Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance, which is available for $7.50 on the Steam summer sale. And guys, this game just has so much style. I know it's really short, about 5 hours, but it's so fun to keep replaying and replaying and replaying. It was when Platinum games started to hit their stride, but for $8, this is a steal. Just even if you play it once, 5 hours of pure entertainment for $8, I'd say is a fair exchange to me. But to me, Raiden is my favorite character in the Metal Gear franchise. So to be able to actually play as him and do a bunch of cool moves and switch weapons, I love this game so much. It is always fun to go back to. This one blew me away. Sonic Generations, which is, in my opinion, my favorite recent Sonic game. I played this one a ton on the 360, is available for $1. You get the game, you get the DLC for $1. And I was at a loss for words. I love this game. And I'm not a huge Sonic fan, by the way, but I love Sonic Generations. And outside of Mania, I'd say it's one of the last great Sonic games. And it's one of the last great modern Sonic games, at the very least. I don't know, that may be a hot take, but it's got that mix of 2D Sonic, 3D Sonic. I thought the 3D levels were great, despite 2D being where it's really at for a lot of fans. And man, $1. $1. If you're into Sonic at all and you've never played Generations, this is a great chance to do so. And if you are still hesitant because $1 is too much, that's fine. I understand everyone's situation's different. There's a demo. Give it a shot. All right, it's time for big boy purchases, and that means it's time for Steam to really collect that cash. Oh, look at all this money I've got. Hey, what's happening, everybody, and welcome to Steam TV Cribs. Today I'm showing you just how nice my house is because you all bought a bunch of games you'll never play on the Steam sale. Here is my pool. I swim in it sometimes, but it's just cool to have. This is my library. I look sophisticated with this amount of books here behind me, but honestly, I don't like to read either. I just like money. Let's kick things off with Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord. This is a game that had been anticipated for years and years and years and years and years. I cannot say that enough. And for a lot of people, it seems like it did live up to the hype. A lot of my viewers have hounded me over playing Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord because it's like an RPG, then a strategy game, and it's kind of like Battlefront. And then there's just character creation elements. There's like so much to this game. It's really, from what I've seen, very hard to define. But I know it's caught the attention of a lot of people. It was a big hype release back in March, and now things have kind of gone quiet. So it's available for $40. If you've been interested, I say that seems like a fair enough price because the reviews are great across critics and users more importantly, and as well as the fact that it seems like it's worth your dollar in the terms of content size. There's a lot here to invest in. Now, it is a early access game, so do know that you're spending $40 on early access, but it's finally here, and I think a lot of people are happy about that more so than the fact that it's early access. All right, top 3 game of 2019 for me was Dragon Quest Builders 2. You can play this online with your friends. As far as I know, unless it's been patched, you do have to wait until about, yes, I kid you not, 15 hours into the game. But I put about 80, 70 hours into this game, and I loved every second of it. It is so good. It's got an adorable story. It's got some actually really charming writing, which is surprising for a builder game. It's got wonderful gameplay in general, where yes, it is breaking down items, resource collecting, but then you create these rooms. And when you build these rooms, people perform certain tasks, and that'll raise the overall happiness of your town or of your island. And that happiness becomes almost like a currency that you can use to unlock more recipes, more blueprints, and things to do. You can explore other people's worlds online. I just loved this game so much. Actually, over this past weekend, I was just chilling and I went back to fire this up. It is a little bit hard to dive back in because there's so many different recipes that you have to remember again, but it's so fun to go back to. I love this game, man. If you're like me and you were in the mood for a builder style game, Dragon Quest Builders 2, man, I'm telling you, $35 well spent. I spent $60 and I don't regret it, and I would do it again. Greedfall, $30. I was a huge advocate for Greedfall. I said that it was a very underrated RPG. Some people were really hard on it because of its jank. It came from Studio Spiders, who brought us Technomancer as well as Bound by Flame, and I feel like this is their best game yet. And I say that as someone who was a gigantic critic of this studio. They always showed flashes of potential but could never execute. Greedfall is just a really interesting universe. It's like colonialism meets magic, meets fighting off some type of plague, meets politics. There's just so much going on in this game. And as I mentioned in the beginning, a lot of jank here, okay? It is not a slip and slide, but it is really fun to play. It has a really good story. It has great factions. It has replayability if you'd like. There is a lot to like here. And for $30, this would be a safer price. I was really into this game. I still am, and I am a huge RPG fan, so do know that. I had no problem recommending this game at full price. I feel like it filled a void that we were having back then, where there really weren't a lot of great RPGs that were single player, that captured that old school BioWare experience. This game does in a number of ways. Not perfect. There's a lot of flaws, some bugs, some jank in the combat, doesn't feel super smooth, and even some of the replayability may not be up your alley because it's really amounting to like 4 endings. But you can tell they put a lot of time, effort, love, and thought into this game, and I really appreciate it. So I'd say if you've been curious on Greedfall, this is a good price to dive into. Last but certainly not least, and this may not be a big boy / girl purchase because the game is for kids, but I made a whole video defending the title, and I want to make sure I suggest it here. It's not on sale, but it is in that price range that we've been talking about, $30, and that's SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated. This is the remake for Battle for Bikini Bottom. It is as faithful as it gets for both better and worse, but it got some horrendous reviews from the press, 5s, 2s, 4s. I've seen some ridiculous scores for this game, which is, in my opinion, one of the best 3D platformer collectathons out there. So if you're into that type of stuff, this is a great game to pick up. Do know they added a multiplayer mode into this game because that was cut out in the original, and I can see why, because it's a horde mode. It's really not thoughtful. You can play online with one of your other friends, but it's not the reason you should be picking up the game. You just run around, collect golden spatulas, interact with a bunch of fan-servicing moments in the SpongeBob universe, like exploring a variety of locations, and it'll just break your childhood mind. I love this game to death, still love it, highly recommended. But those, ladies and gentlemen, are my recommendations for the Steam Summer Sale of 2020. Hopefully, you're walking out with some good games that you will enjoy. If you pick anything up, let me know in the comments down below, or if I missed anything that maybe you would have recommended, fire away as well, because a lot of people always get upset. I don't recommend The Witcher, Skyrim, games that I've recommended in the past, but I don't recommend every video. I felt those are obvious ones. I always try to recommend new titles. So fire away down below, give your thoughts. I'd love to hear them. Other people would love to hear them. We all like spending money when we can. And with that, I'll talk to you guys soon. Be sure to follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram. Those links are in the description down below. Big thank you to all the patrons who continue to push the limits of this channel. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.